Disclaimer, fair use act, education purpose use only. All rights and image and music clip belong to their perspective only. We do not claim ownership. Hi y'all, welcome to the chat. I'm finna tell y'all that goddamn Nancy case, the FBI playing with everybody. They going on with false lead. They covering up for the Asian kidnappers. You know what I'm talking about? Bro, they done made this whole case to a actually joke, bro. You know what I'm talking about? Hey man, if you been following that Nancy lady, that lady that came up missing, the mother of Savannah, know what I'm saying? Man, don't y'all see how many times these people had to redact everything they done put out there about this lady? I can tell you what's going on with the whole case right now. You know what I'm saying? This is what I really, really believe why we ain't got no goddamn suspect, because the FBI already know who the suspect is. TMZ now trying to help distract, throw everybody all the time. Like, yeah, I got emails, back to emails. Man, how many emails you know what I'm saying? Some get suspicious, but I listen to everything what these people be saying. So let me break it down, right? All right. Man, look. When it comes to this timestamp right here, check this out who everybody really need to be paying attention to. All right. First of all, at 5:32, the lady take a Uber to her daughter house, Annie, for dinner, right? Now she got a husband that's gonna drop her off. You know what I'm talking about? Tomasa, I don't know how to pronounce his name though, but this the dude that's gonna drop her off. That's the son-in-law, the husband of the daughter. Once you look at it to him, you know, he in a rock and roll band, you know what I'm saying, heavy metal music, you know what I'm saying, that old, you know what I'm saying, you know that heavy metal music, right? Now I didn't personally listen to his music, but I might need to go check it out and see what he like to sing about. But if you look at the daughter like to write books. Go look at type of books that she like to you know what I'm saying, before anything get traced off the internet, you know what I'm talking about. So now check this out. The son-in-law dropped her off. Now she got to be at church in the morning, right? Cause she ain't gonna miss church service. One thing I want to keep in mind, who would be at her house while she would take a Uber to her daughter's house, right? It was a reason why she would went to her daughter's house. It just look at this on the setup side, right? This finna be on the setup side. The way I'm looking at a setup, just say these folk planted that stuff, right? So look, all right, what we're gonna do is invite her for dinner. Boom, she's gonna take a Uber over there to the daughter house, right? So boom, why would the husband drop her off instead of the daughter would drop her off, right? At 9:48. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, he dropped her off, you know what I'm saying, at 9:48. 2 minutes. Now that's 2 minutes. Now you know you know that lady gonna need help getting out the car and all of this and need to be escorted. This is what nobody ain't gonna tell y'all, right? Check this out. It's gonna take 2 minutes, you know what I'm saying? So boom. Think about her phone, her watch, her Apple. She got an Apple Watch on, and think about the peacemaker when all of this finna, you know what I'm talking about. All right. So he dropped it off. Nobody can confirm when he actually left because they said the garage door just closed. You know what I'm saying? And Thomas, whatever his name, Tommaso, you know what I'm saying, reported it. He drove off at the time. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. I can't go on nobody's word until the truth come out. Everybody gonna be suspect at this point. So at 9:50, I want to know where he was, what his word about. Notice the police ain't never interviewed him, or did they interview him, but they ain't never told us about it. But have they interviewed him and checked his whereabouts? You know what I'm saying? If it's coming to a crime like this, don't you think they would You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know, can you come down here, you know what I'm saying, to the office? We need to ask you a couple of questions and all this stuff. It's just to make sure everything gonna follow up, right? That'll be the best thing to do. That would be the right thing. That'll be the real police work, right? All right. Since he the last one dropped out, nobody don't know what happened after that. You know what I'm saying? You can ask yourself, like, okay, can anybody voucher when he got home? Did he go straight home? Did he have possession of the phone, the Apple Watch? Was somebody was already in the house when he claimed to drop her off close to 10 p.m. at night? Why would you want to drop a lady off at 10 something at night? There's got to be a reason for that. Mm-hmm. All right, now check this out. 4 hours later, before I play this video, I want to show y'all this one. Check this out. Listen to this whole video. This caught these people, they covering up for somebody. Cause you want to know who I covered up? If it's a murder for hire, right? And if this actually true, you can read between this and be like, I could actually see the layout of it and what they man said it was and thinking how they were gonna get away with it. Now, you can see who they'll be protecting, right? Just say everybody knows they gotta protect one of their owns, right? So they'll be the biggest news of the century that you got a news anchor out here that paid somebody her, you know what I'm saying? Other family members in on some stuff, you know. Man, do you think DP want that kind of news out there? Mm-mm. All right, check this out, right? Listen to the timestamp very closely, especially right up in here. Cause right up in here, I'ma mark this as a red highlighter right here. Cause this where it's gonna start as a cover up. Cause at 1:47 a.m., where did they get this number from? 1:47 a.m., where did it come from? They said a doorbell camera of Guthrie home is disconnected by a mask. And they gloved it individual. 147, let's listen to
Here
this.
with more. TMZ founder Harvey Levin is with us. Okay, there's not a day that
TMZ.
goes by that you and TMZ are not actively involved in this case. Two big developments. When you released that video of this guy 5 miles away, similar backpack, it was eerily similar to me. And I'm not sure, and I've not gotten an explanation, and I've made phone calls about it. Why is NBC dismissing this now that apparently they have determined that the man has been cleared in this case? Because it looks like a strange coincidence to me.
So is this one of those techniques that he tried to distract everybody? Because he tried to match it up at 147, right? Keep this in mind. This video said they were 5 miles away. 5 miles. So how this video end up circulating? Because he the one that reported it, you know what I'm saying? Then the other YouTubers follow after that and try to throw everybody off. They been doing this for decades, bro. They been doing this for decades, right? Check this out. Watch this.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to embrace or dispute what NBC said. I can only tell you about an hour ago, I called one of my sources at the FBI who was involved in this case, who said that nobody has been cleared in connection with the video. That doesn't mean they're implicated either, but they said they're looking at everything, including this. So I'm getting different information from the FBI. What's interesting, now this video was actually, somebody had posted it on Twitter, and what caught our attention was
On Twitter, no wonder X, Elon Musk platform now, the one he paid big money for, so he could control all the narratives, right? Hold on. Watch this. This where he get a video from? Let me go to X. Let me snatch this video and let me break down some conspiracy theories.
That the timestamp on the video, Sean, is 1:53 in the morning. This is the day that Nancy Guthrie was abducted.
So you basically got an innocent man that's 5 miles away. All right.
1:53 in the morning. We now know from FBI sources that the video that they were able to get from Google showing this man at the doorstep of Nancy Guthrie, the one we've been seeing now for 2 days,
There we go.
that was actually retrieved at 2:12 in the morning. This is after
212? Whoa. 212, huh? So why you wanna, so where they get 147 from then? Sound like somebody, it sound like round 147, you got your suspect. But guess what? You mean to tell me the first thing they did when they went in there, check this out, hold on, you know what this finna do? It's covering up for somebody at one something. So they had to bump the time like, look, now we're gonna say this at 12, because at one something, just say if you got the son-in-law, right? Let's just say he had access to the phone. He the last one gonna be with the lady. It would make sense he would have the phone, know all her medical history, all he gonna know the whole thing about her life, right? It would make sense that he would know when to deactivate the cameras before the intruder gets in there. Hello? That means somebody had possession of the phone and disabled the camera system, and the intruder was coming in. And then look, at the time, they said right after that, her Peacemaker app was disconnected. Somebody close to her knew to turn that Peacemaker app off. So guess what they're gonna bring? The ambulance. It's like a life alert, you know what I'm saying? Another thing for life alert, right? Now check this out. This the cold part about this. Now, I'm quite sure the lady ain't driving to church because she couldn't drive to her daughter's house. She need an Uber. So if she go to church, somebody take her to church every morning. Every Sunday, I mean. You know what I'm talking about? Think about this now. Another red flag. Because around 11, a churchgoer called the family to report that she never made it to church. So this churchgoer, when they called, did they call Nancy phone? But that'd be the first thing you be, let me call Nancy. Ring, 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 ring. Nancy ain't picking up. Let me call her family. That would be understandable. But this would be a red flag if you got the church going. Who was this church goer? I don't know. But this church goer automatic call the family. That's a red flag for me. And guess what? An hour later. Why was an hour later? What was that individual doing? Right? Y'all see what I'm going with this? Y'all see where I'm going with this, right? Check this out. If you looking at the setup, you looking at one right now. This how you finna trace it back to the real allegedly kidnappers. All right. So the family showed up at the house an hour later. Did not see no blood, no forced entry. They can't even explain how the kidnappers got in the house. In the first place, the garage door is down. So they ain't getting to the garage door. They got a camera of the kidnappers at the front door. And that's where her blood was at. All right. I'm telling y'all, this how they playing with these folk, bro. Check this out. The police arrived a couple of minutes later. Now the family called the law, right? 911, and they showed up like 10, 15 minutes later, you know what I'm saying? Nothing about, they just treated it as a missing person. Ah, she gone. They believed she was forced against her will, you know what I'm saying? They ain't say none of how this person got in there. There's no timestamp on the camera. Once again, this how you know it's a cover up. If they give you any type of footage with no timestamp on that judge, you know it's been altered. That's all. Now check this out. You know what they did? Now think about this. Look what happened right after that. All right. They filed a missing person report. Boom, 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 boom. All right, go down. Evidence. Look, check this out. The evidence recovered at the residence indicate that a crime has taken place within the house, leading investigators to treat the house as a crime scene and to involve homicide investigators. He stated that it was not believed that Nancy left the residence voluntarily. Nothing about forced entry, how the suspect were able to get in there and go straight to the phone. Let me delete you out. No broken windows, no kick doors, you know what I'm saying? So won't you think that won't you think that this would be after the fact? Like it I don't look at it like this when the kidnappers coming in. I believe this the kidnappers right here, right? It's through doing what they was doing. Now you got control of the surveillance footage, the phone, everything. So it would make sense to go and get rid of a little camera or something, you know what I'm saying? Cause if you look at the way I'm looking at it, this look like it's staged to me. But why would the police get the time on it wrong? Right? Get the time on it wrong. And then use propaganda. Man, you just took the word right out of my mouth. And you just took the word right out of my mouth. So I just want y'all to just watch this. No forced entry, right? We go to Google Maps. This the house, right? Check this out, right? The suspect had to either look when they showed the video, they're gonna show him already in this area, so you don't know which direction he came from. See, he could have came from outside, inside the house, out the garage, and come in there. Everything disconnected. Look, all the activity gonna be right up in here. The garage door gonna be down. Boom, boom, boom. You're gonna have a suspect over here in this corner, and I believe it's gonna be multiple people in their house because it ain't gonna be just one person. Trust and believe. This ain't gonna be just one person, bro. All right, check this out. Ain't nobody walking down this street at no 1 in the morning without a car. You at least somebody gonna see some type of suspicious vehicle. If it's anywhere, just say you could park right here, right there. You can park right up here somewhere. You can park right up in there. You know, you're gonna be in front of somebody's house. Somebody gonna see that car, individual, right? So once you look at and study the crime scene, right? You gotta look at it. If the garage door was down and the suspect, you got a suspect on the ring camera, and nobody did say was the door kicked in. How did she answer the door? But you got blood at the doorstep. Then you got blood in the house, and they said the blood that's in the house do not belong to the victim. The blood belonged to the male. These people said they found a glove in the house. Not only before that, they done found another glove down the street. And then look, then they found 16 more gloves. First they said, hey, the blood on the porch is nasty. And then turn around and say, that ain't hers. So how y'all gonna make mistakes like that? They just let me know that, man, y'all done test that goddamn blood, bro. I wouldn't even be surprised you go in that house, bro. I wouldn't even be surprised, man. Some of that blood in there, you probably don't want to test it. It could be in a sacrifice. There could be some bird blood in there. You know what I'm talking about? There could be like some kind of ritual animal blood. You know what I'm talking about? 'Cause you know they do that stuff, bro. And I be looking into all of that. Jeffrey Epstein, bro, them folk into all of that stuff, bro. That's what I'm saying. Them folk they found an e-glove miles down the street. First, they said they found the glove outside. Look, remember the news said they found the glove somewhere in the area. Because they got detectives picking the glove up. Somewhere in this area picking the glove up. They said a pair of gloves. Now they got found another pair of gloves in this house, and then down the street they found another glove, and then they found 16 more pairs of gloves. I believe they probably be planting evidence. You know what I'm talking about? Because the way this case going, I don't even see why nobody don't see through all this old stuff. But check this out. Then you got TMZ involved in this, right? The way I'm looking at it, look how the connection is so strong when it goes back to Savannah. If she hires somebody, the person that actually hired her, you know what I'm saying, damn, they're gonna expose them. Gonna expose the whole plot like shit. Then you got the kidnapper talking about, give me $6 million. And then you got another individual talking about, yeah, give me 1 Bitcoin. I'll take the first payment. You know what I'm talking about? Check it out.
The camera had been disabled, but we're told somehow they were able to get these images at and it was at 2:12. What's interesting is there is 19 minutes between the time that the man in that other video was seen and this person walks up to Nancy's door. So that's enough time to drive 5 miles.
And I'm gonna tell y'all something. The man got a little bitty ass flashlight in his mouth. The man drove Look, the man went in the yard and picked up some scrubs and some little leaves and some brush to cover the camera up, to dismantle it. No, bruh. How he dismounted it? I want to see. I want to see actually photos. Like, did he get a screwdriver or something, plugging that junk out? Did he snatch it out or something? You know, because you know that shit. You know that junk gonna be screwed in there. It's gonna be screwed to the wood. So it ain't like you just finna just snatch the motherfucker off there. No. Man, you need something to pry that motherfucker out. You gonna need something strong, like a crowbar or something. You can hit it, you know what I'm saying? You can have a hammer or something. Boom! Take it on out of misery. But, and if you look at this, all of this could be staged. They probably wasn't, be honest with you, that probably didn't even happen at all, to be honest with you. Look.
Now, if you look at that video that was posted on X that we put up on our site, the man is carrying two backpacks. I can't tell you if either one of those backpacks matches the backpack that the kidnapper used. There's a similarity with one of them, but
So why you try to match everything up like you just had the smoking gun? So you really the biggest problem when it come to this shit. And it sounds like the reason why you distracted because you don't want nobody to know about Savannah, little secret or something. That's what I'm looking at.
bottom line here is the sheriff's department told me about an hour ago, excuse me, the FBI told me about an hour ago that they are still looking at this. It's not been, they haven't determined one way or the other how important this is.
I'm going to get to this issue of disagreement because I've known about this from the beginning, and I've tried not to put a lot of attention or emphasis on it in the hopes that local law enforcement would work more closely with the FBI. But there's been a lot of resistance and a little bit of a power play, I guess, going on. I'm not really sure what's at stake here. But let me go. The guy that sent you the note asking for the one Bitcoin.
Can I just jump in on that for 1 second?
You can, of course.
You know, I was a reporter for CBS in Los Angeles for many years. And I can tell you, you know, from covering stories involving crime in LA as well as other cities, these turf wars are not uncommon. That local police departments and sheriff's departments get their feathers ruffled when the FBI comes in. They believe the FBI is bigfooting. The FBI has certain things available to it that local law enforcement doesn't have. But this really does become a turf war. So this is, to me, utterly unsurprising.
I agree. It's happened all the time. It's happened in many cases we've covered on this program over the many years, et cetera. You're right. It's the right term. It's bigfooting, turf war. Everything you're saying is 100% right. But why would the sheriff send the glove to a lab in Florida and not to Quantico? Because that
makes sense to me. Check this out. Man, I'm starting to believe, bro, this video they showing is not the actual video. Because look, it wasn't some, it's a reason why they had to say, no, switch this up to 1212. But this just showed you that whoever had the phone already disconnect the cameras. If you look, check this out. Her camera is rolling, right? Her camera's rolling all the time. When everything finna go down, somebody cut the cameras off. And this what you finna see. If them junk cut on at 12:12, that means somebody staged the whole goddamn thing then. And boom. And then boom. The Peacemaker app is disconnected. So why would you say this would be at 12? So you just told the world that, hey, the suspect knew to come in, go straight to the phone, and go to the Peacemaker app and disconnected it. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about? Hi, y'all. Appreciate the super chat game. Appreciate the super chat game. So they already done switch it up. I wouldn't even be surprised from 9:50. Ain't no telling who will be at her house for 4 hours. You got 4 hours to commit a murder, and then starting at one something, everybody covering it up. The way I'm looking at it, you got access to the phone, you know, to turn the Peacemaker app off. The camera is already disabled. They can't even show you cameras of the lady actually arriving at the house. I bet you they can't even show you that video, bro. They can't even show you that lady leave, you know what I'm saying, walking through the kitchen and sitting her purse down on the counter, you know what I'm saying, and probably cooked a big ass bologna sandwich. You know what I'm saying? And then next thing you know what I'm saying, family show up, and next thing you know, boom, with the hitman. It could be all that type of stuff, yeah. If you keep listening to these people gonna keep switching the story up, keep switching the timestamp up. If you keep following that shit, watch this.
It makes no sense to me.
No, I mean, I think if that's the case, for the very reason we just discussed. What's interesting about this, Sean, is that my law enforcement sources and other people have reported this too. Was more than one glove was found in that area, a mile or so from the Guthrie house. So
they found the glove in the house. Then they found the glove a mile outside the house. And keep this in mind, they found gloves down there. What they say, a couple of miles too.
if there were two gloves found there, and then there's one glove here, and the guy has two hands, one of these gloves isn't the glove that person was wearing. So I have no idea what glove is inside the house and which glove, if any, which glove was worn by the kidnapper.
So you had more communication with the guy that was asking for 1 Bitcoin in exchange for identifying who the individuals are involved in the abduction. You heard today, I'm not being taken seriously?
Yeah, I mean, Sean, this one really got me. Yesterday, I thought, well, anybody can write an email like this. This one has a different tone. What he's saying is, yeah, he doesn't feel he's been taken seriously. He feels he's been ignored because nothing was deposited into the Bitcoin account. We've been checking that all day. Nothing's been.
Now check this out. The kidnappers, man, do y'all remember when that man said, when they broke the news, when they had on the ransom, like they got a certain amount of time to pay $6 million, and he was going live and he told the world this. He said, I'm watching the activity and I'm seeing some activity with the Bitcoin. I ain't gonna disclose the amount because I don't want to jeopardize. I'm hearing this man say this shit. I'm like, okay, they paid the ransom. Now I'm thinking like, damn. Now you finna see the body then. Like I'm thinking it finna be a swap, right? Like, yeah, that's how the way they putting it, right? So I'm like, wait a minute. If they paid the ransom and you verified it, then you turned around like, nah, there wasn't no payment was never made. Even the family, the own daughter Savannah, right? I'm watching all of this and I'm like, man, these people the world don't see what's going on. I'm like, damn, look, they see what's going on because everybody want to side-eye Savannah. But you know what I'm saying? They want to do it so bad, bro. Look, check this out, right? They so busted. Watch this.
Investigators out on foot in a very large area in the Catalina foothills. And we're going to give you some proximity on how far that is from the Guthrie home in just a moment. But that comes more than 24 hours after the release, stunning release yesterday. This was a huge, huge development in this case of these images that you see on your screen. That's the search area that you're looking at right now. And then let's put up these images that appeared yesterday, which have really broken this open in a huge way. This man walking into Mrs. Guthrie's front porch around the time she is believed to have vanished from that home. Now, the images reportedly leading to a very dramatic uptick, as you would expect. This is why the FBI released them. Lots and lots of new phone calls, new tips as people get a look at the eyes of this individual, the gait, his height, his size, and try to figure out if this is somebody that they know and can help the FBI with. So TMZ founder Harvey Levin had another development. He tells Fox that he received a third note. They have received some of the prior notes with regard to this ransom that may or may not be factual. In this one, someone claimed to know who the kidnapper is. So we're going to get you more information on that. A lot floating around. So we have to be careful as we watch all this come in. But we kick things off right now with our senior correspondent, Alicia Acuna, who is live outside Annie Guthrie, the daughter's home right now, with some new information.
No porch light on. I want to know the porch light on. And how did the intruder get in there? Now let's go back to the the daughter, and the one that husband dropped off.
From live come in, but we kick things off right now with our senior correspondent, Alicia Acuna, who is live outside Annie Guthrie, the daughter's home right now, with some new information. Hi, Alicia.
Hi, Martha. And this just happened within the last few minutes here. We saw an unmarked vehicle come up to the front of the home, and we saw what we believe were two agents. They walked inside the house. They weren't in there for more than 10 minutes, I would say. And they came out, the two agents. One was carrying two different bags. One was a brown paper bag. One looked like a white plastic bag. The other agent also had on latex gloves. And then they checked the mailbox right before they left and drove away. Our producer, Alex Rego, was shouting questions at them, just trying to get some clarification of why they are here. They, of course, did not answer in that.
Damn, so what they confiscated? That's what I want to know. Shit, they outside the daughter house where the husband dropped her off. You know what I'm saying? The husband dropped the mother off it, right? So let's put our thinking hats on. Like, why would the unmarked agent would be showing up here, collecting evidence? No search warrants, just going up, hey, we need that right there, we need that right there. That sounds like cooperation to me, ain't it? That sounds like the FBI already know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? They're just collecting everything what they need. Right? Check this out now. Hold up. Watch this.
That moment, but a reminder, on Saturday, we also saw quite a bit of activity at this home behind me when you had agents from the FBI and investigators from the Sheriff's Department coming here at 8:30 at night. They went into that house. They were in the garage, and our team saw flashes of light like someone was taking pictures in there, and then also in a whole other different part of the home. They were here for 2.5 hours, also left with a brown paper bag, and they had some sort of folding table with them as well. Keep in mind, this is all happening as the FBI says they are also on foot right now, searching portions of the foothills, which is also where Nancy Guthrie's home is located. It's in the foothills of the Catalina Mountains. They're out there doing a search of the foothills, which is also where Nancy Guthrie's home is located. It's in the foothills of the Catalina Mountains. They're out.
And that lady almost slipped up and said, oh, shit, what, the hotel? Sound like you gonna say the hotel to me. I ain't lying.
Out there searching portions of the foothills, which is also where Nancy Guthrie's home is located. It's in the foothills of the Catalina Mountains.
Dang.
They're out there doing a search as well. We've seen them walking the lines of the roads, and we've also seen them in the brush doing a search. So this is a very active investigation, and it continues.
So what I'm getting out of this, they actually walking the whole street of the route. So they got a whole route where the vehicle may have traveled, And you're gonna need foot agents on the ground to make sure that they throw in the items out the window, you know what I'm saying? Because you know people got a habit throwing stuff out the window. I'm just trying to think like a top-notch investigator, you know what I'm talking about? Because I got the skills for this shit. I can read between all what how they be doing, how they be delivering in the news. I'm like, man, these people, the devil is real, bro. Mm-hmm. Look, why this?
Continues. Martha?
Good information, Alicia. Thank you very much. Obviously, you'll let us know if we see agents returning to Annie Guthrie's home. We've seen it a couple of times now, and they left, as you say, moments ago with a couple of bags in hand after they came out of that home. With that, we bring in former FBI Special Agent and criminal defense attorney Stuart Kaplan. Stuart, great to have you with us. What's your reaction to this latest information from Elisa Acuna on the scene there?
Well, Martha, let me unpack a lot of things. Number one.
So check this out. To me, do it sound like they protecting the Guthrie family? Do it look like that to y'all? I don't know. It look like that to me. I'm asking y'all. What it look like? Do it sound like, damn, they know the Guthrie family got something to do with this? And they know they got something to do with this. Right? Hold up. Watch this.
One is the first priority to the FBI is to try to locate and return Nancy Guthrie to her family safe and sound. And I think we can all agree that to some extent the FBI may not be able to control that outcome. Number two is, and there's been a lot of criticism today, it seems that the investigation has stalled, or why is there a lag? Why don't we see as much flurry of activity as we saw yesterday? The FBI
Man, what's in that bag?
criticism today, it seems that the investigation has stalled.
What's in that bag? Brown bag and a white bag. Look like a box. Whatever's in her light. Don't got no uniform on. Something ain't right. And they said these people showed up and weren't even there for not long. That these people showed up for a couple of minutes and got the item and they left that motherfucker. And the police were there for a couple of hours taking photos and pictures inside the house. So won't it would make sense be like, now I want to know why they taking pictures inside the house and stuff. And they said they had a folding table too. And that's where she had dinner too. You know, she had dinner at the people's house. Ain't no telling where. Shit, the murder could have took place at these people's house. And try to, you know what I'm talking about? And be like, nah, we can't, you know, we took it back. Look, we got to move the body now. And then get somebody be like, look, go on that camera and be like, yeah, this is kidnappers. You know what I'm talking about? Hold on, watch this. Check it out, y'all. Just hold up.
For more on this, let's bring in former ATF Special Agent in Charge, Bernard.
Hold on, not this one. It's this one. Check this out. List it is.
Or why is there a lag? Why don't we see as much flurry of activity as we saw yesterday? The FBI, if they're going to apprehend and arrest someone and prosecute that person not only has to be the right person, but they have to get him right. What does that mean? That means this case, absent the person coming in and confessing and turning himself in, it's going to be a circumstantial evidence case. That means that the FBI must cross the T's and dot the I's, because all of this circumstantial evidence.
Man, we don't know who these people is. These people don't got no guns. These people don't got no badges. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no telling who these people is, bro. All because they on the scene. Shit, look who on the scene. Cause it's a YouTuber out here broke it down with like these were private investigators that the family hired. From my understanding, they said these people were private investigators and they were showing up at the house. And they was like, why private investigators? You got the news saying these FBI agents, and you got the people that's actually there at the scene saying, hey, these people were hired by the family. They private investigators. Man, these folks don't got no vests on. They ain't got no badge. Man, they ain't even got no police boots. Let's look at the tag. Tag should tell everything.
Is open for challenge in a court of law if and when they apprehend the individuals or the individual that is responsible. So that's why you see this kind of behind the scenes, I think, not as much flurry as activity, but I can tell you that the FBI is working around the clock. Number 3, this video, or the pictures that were released yesterday, facial recognition, which has not really been touched upon, relies upon geometrical recognition, which is video, or the pictures that were released yesterday. Facial recognition, which has not really been touched upon, relies upon geometrical measurement.
Pocket and threw it in there. Look.
This video, or the pictures that were released yesterday, facial recognition, which has not really been touched upon, relies upon geometrical measurements or geometrical mapping.
Stop playing with Trey game. Ain't no telling what that man just threw up in there, bro. Look again, just look at this shit again.
What's geometric recognition? This that the FBI is working around the clock. Number 3, this video, or the pictures that were released yesterday, facial recognition, which has not really been touched upon, relies upon geometrical measurements or geometrical mapping. Notwithstanding this individual is wearing a mask, there are enough geometrical measurements that can be elicited from those pictures in that video that the FBI is using very, very sophisticated technology, which is not known to the public, using very sophisticated technology, which is not known to the public or available to the public, to perhaps be able to narrow those persons of interest to positively identify that individual that was captured on that doorbell camera. So let me just...
So it's some funny shit. So if you got the possession of the mailbox keys, that shit looks so wrong to me. Like, hold on.
Say, and I said it several days ago, technology in this case is at the forefront. The FBI has deployed some very, very sophisticated technology, normally not seen or not visible to the general public. This case is going to crack wide open. Now, with respect to the FBI returning to Annie Guthrie's house, obviously, when you take a look at the statistics of abductions or kidnappings, sometimes, unfortunately, they lead right back to a family member. And look, we don't really want to go down that road because of the people that are involved in this particular case, but there seems to be something that continues to draw them back, and it just may be either to include or to exclude those individuals that reside in that house.
Yeah, while you have been speaking, we've been watching over and over. And this is brand new video just in that we're looking at. Alicia Acuna, our reporter on the scene, told us that Annie Guthrie's house is once again where the FBI is conducting this search. And when you...
Golly, that just make a long story short. So it sounds like the police know who actually did it, and they trying to help these people to cover it up, and they trying to, sound like, you know what I'm saying, they looking for somebody to frame that fit the description and put it out, you know what I'm talking about? I'm just saying, what y'all think? I'm looking, I know how the police work, bro. When they come to these raids, did y'all see that video? They said they were outside the house and they were about to raid the house. This before they raid the house, right? And I'm sitting up there watching the video, and I'm like, if I'm watching the video, guess who will be else watching the video that got something to do with it? The kidnappers. And you don't think the kidnapper, and you got the news crew talking about, yeah, we outside this house, we finna raid, and we finna run, and we don't want to get a location. And you and me tell me the kidnappers be like that, hey, y'all, they outside. Then they kicked the house in and contained 3 people. And then let them go. It's just like they just picking people out, bro. Look, watch this.
See, we'll show it to you in a second again. These 2 individuals walking out of the house. They have, here he comes, two individuals in this investigation, a white garbage bag tied at the top, and then like a shopping bag that they put into their vehicle. Then the other agent wraps around. He takes one quick look in the mailbox, and then they get in the car and take this away. So this comes after a couple of nights ago. We saw flashes of light inside that house at Annie Guthrie's. What can you tell us when you look at sort of the demeanor of these actions that we're seeing of these 2 agents here on this video, Stuart?
Well, clearly, that's the continuation of the collection of evidence. And when you see, for example, the gentleman wearing the blue latex gloves, that obviously is to protect the integrity of whatever was seized or whatever was turned over voluntarily by the family to these agents. That whatever that is going to go back to either Quantico, Virginia, or to a local sheriff's department's laboratory for forensic analysis. But keep in mind, again, that video yesterday was very, very telling with respect to a backpack, sneakers, a holster, a sweatshirt, a mask. And again, technology is being utilized and deployed to narrow down where that article of clothing may have been sold, who had access to it, who purchased it. Again, we're crossing the T's and dotting the I's, and we're narrowing the field of potential subjects, and we're zeroing in almost to the point where it's very close to being able to resolve this case.
Well, I hope you're right. One of the things that I know from speaking with another former FBI agent is just in terms of the digital footprint that they're getting. It takes a little while to get this going, but they will be able, through the cellular analysis survey team, to gather every piece of cell phone, the individuals that they're looking at and talking to, and find out who they were speaking to in this area. It's
Check this out. It's funny that the kidnappers want to reach out to TMZ as a real kidnapper. If I just said, if I had my mind was that messed up, and I'm like, yeah, let me kidnap somebody, right? And I pull it off. The first thing I'm gonna do is contact the family. Hey, yeah, you know what's going on. Man, you want to see your family, you know what I'm saying? You need to pay them around. Why would I go to the news? Yeah, look, tell these people I want $6 million. $6 million? You should call them. You should have called Savannah for that. But she ain't pay you all your money or something? Hold on, she don't hang up. These people could shoot emails. They could be traceable. Everybody know email traceable. Why everybody don't know email, acting like they don't know email traceable? And these people know y'all ain't thinking about email being traceable. So they finna hit you. Yeah, I got another email. Yep, I got another email.
Deposited. But he goes on to say that the reason he wants the Bitcoin is because he will become, and the way he put it, he'd be labeled a national rat. And that on top of that, he fears a retaliation. And that he needs to lay low, go underground, and he needs money to survive, during that time, and that's why he's asking for this Bitcoin.
Ain't nobody asking what's the IP address on that email and where all that's coming from? That's a question that could be answered right now. Man, you call the news station, what's the IP on that address? FBI, y'all know. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. The public ain't asking those type of questions, bro. So guess what this finna lead back to? You got the FBI secretly got the family up on the investigation, bro. And you got the news outlet trying to match the camera footage and try to single out one person. Like it ain't multiple people in this shit. So I be like, damn, why these people keep talking about one man? The man in Bitcoins. And you know, one man seen on the footage. Look, watch this. You don't think he would be helping the family out more and more with all these emails going on? To take Nancy out the spotlight, Savannah out the spotlight, let everybody control on this mysterious one man. They got power to cut the cameras out before he entered the house. Is that like we don't know that somebody had power to cut the cameras out before it happened? Who had the phone? And what I said sound like a setup. I know it's a setup. I wouldn't even be surprised. Why would it be the reason for her though? If it is a setup. Because you know all of them got money, so money just ain't no issue. Maybe somebody, you know what I'm saying? Let's just say you can't say this here though. Somebody in the family know a secret or something. It could be anything. What would be the motive? Because I don't think it's about no money. Can't be about no money, bro. Can't be about no organs, you know what I'm talking about? What it could be possibly be? Sacrifice? A ritual? Ain't nobody just finna go up and just kidnap a celebrity child without being some type of foul play. Like, damn, you must have been playing a dangerous game out here. I wouldn't even be surprised if the Illuminati had that much power to go out there. You did something and they finna show you an example. And then, I don't know. Cause when I listened to that Jeffrey Epstein video, goddamn it, man, I learned so much from that man, bro. Man, I learned so much from that interview. Y'all ain't see that video I dropped? I was like, oh man, this so crazy. Cause they said one thing that got my attention. He said Satan was the one or two architect angel. And once that person said that, I immediately knew what the fuck going on then. That man put Jeffrey Epstein on the level as Lucifer. Like, nigga, you and Lucifer got the same man, nigga. Y'all gotta be brothers. I'm just saying, maybe that lady seen something, violated the oath or something, or if it was her time, it'd just be like, hey, we finna take it up a notch with you. You know what I'm saying? And put you in the high ranks and shit. You know, you already a high ranker, but we finna blow you up, really. And this thing, you know, you got a ransom note. Ring, ring, ring. TMZ, how may I help you? Yeah, this is Kitten Apples. What? Yes, demanding $6 million in Bitcoins. And I want it now. In the next goddamn it 5 hours, then you got him all on the news looking all sad, like he in the middle of this shit. Like, y'all, they got me in the middle of this shit. Let's try to work together. You know, all this old planned emotion and shit, bro. Really though, bro? Boy, you look different when you look at this shit real life If you look at this shit as a movie, like look at this as a movie. Matter of fact, think about what's that movie Denzel played in? That's my favorite, The Negotiator. Tell him about the pension fund, Frost. Tell him about the, you know what I'm saying, how they bomb, you know what I'm talking about, you know, Rudy. Boy, that was a mean conversation with Samuel Jackson. You don't think that shit was for real, bro? Hold on. Check it out.
It's a fairly sparsely populated area, so it limits, you know, some of the amount of numbers that they have to go through, but it does take time. And then with each day that passes, it feels like they're getting more of that information, Stuart. And that is probably the reason that they come back to certain places as they pursue this, right?
Switch to TurboTax and file your own taxes free in the app if you didn't file with us last year. Just file
100%. And just so you know, the digital footprint, we call it digital footprint exhaust. And so when you're moving about with your Apple Watch or your iPhone or whatever smartphone, those phones, those devices are pinging off of cell phone towers. And that gives a lot of geographical location information. And so we may be able to capture some cell phone data.
Maybe they ping a device at the house and just say, like, don't you know, like, she could have her own phone on her, right? She could be at the house with her phone. Her daughter could have the Peacemaker app and monitoring the motherfucker. She could log in on her app, on her phone, right? You know, and disable the job. So let me know why they will be here at this house, you know what I'm saying? And collecting evidence. I can see that. But what would you have to collect? Yeah, we need that phone when y'all call 911. Let me find out they were the first people on the scene and went back to the house. Who was the family member that went back to the house? Because if this is the husband and Annie, boy, you got a big major problem. Yeah, that's what's going to break the cake. Because you're going to be like, damn. So when Savannah ain't in town, they really depending on you and your husband, and boy, they'll be the one there playing some shit. And taking care of my mom and stuff, you know, my mama said, you know what I'm talking about. My mama got a pension fund out of her, you know, life insurance. We can cash that out right now. She already old as hell. Take that hammer and hit on top of that, John, and stage a goddamn missing person report. And drink some cheap ass wine and shit and plan all this shit here out. And when they go along with the plan, they gonna think that the news finna to help this crack. Like, yep, hit the scrap with this shit.
There are some ominous things in this letter, but he ends it by saying this is his second and last attempt, but he says he's definitive here that he can lead authorities to the kidnapper, and he's very clear on that.
Well,
again, no deposit was made today.
How about an anonymous tip? We can help him out. He can give that tip. The ransom is now much more than a Bitcoin. It's $100,000. Harvey, as always, thank you for being with us. We appreciate the update. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox.
That makes me think, why the FBI wouldn't even pay that money? You got $100,000 reward, and you got a person that reaching out to news. You don't think the FBI would zoom, 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 zoom? Let me come on up. And they finna make arrangements. They don't care about no laws. Like, yeah, they'll set your ass over. You say you want $100,000, you finna get that boy with number goddamn counterfeits. Oh, and Bitcoin. Oh man, they know how to deposit that money and freeze that account. Like, yeah, you see it, but you can't even touch it. They got that type of power, bro. You mean to tell me I can send an email to the judge right now? Matter of fact, what if I send an email to the police department and make a real threat and see how fast they finna get her? I'm finna see how fast they finna get her. I'm finna leave something real devilish, you know what I mean? I'm finna, what's the worst thing I could say make them come even faster, y'all? You know what I'm talking about? Matter of fact, let me call the law. Ring, ring, ring. 911, what's your state of emergency? Bring y'all thunder booty to me, and I got something for you, bitches. Click up. Hang the phone up. Shit. Man, I'm gonna have the United Marines out here. Man, I'm gonna have the Delta, Navy 6, Team 6 coming for Trey game. Man, they just gonna bomb the house. Ask questions later, like, yup. Want them out. They gonna make sure. Look, check this out. They're gonna make sure, right? Like, yeah, they just dropped that them atomic bomb on them. And we're gonna follow up with chemical gas, make sure he dead, you know what I'm talking about. And we're gonna rain brimstones from the sky, make sure his ass don't come back to life, cause them niggas they're real, you know what I'm talking about. Can't kill these niggas, you know. You can't Draco me down. I'm a vampire, Jack. Man, you hit me 8 times with a Draco and see those bullet wounds, my goddamn wounds gonna heal instantly and spook the killer, goddamn it. Oh my God, I can't believe it. I tried to kill him. I ran out of bullets. I seen the hole, but that nigga healed right in front of my eyes. I swear to God. On Jesus. All in hell and shit. You think these niggas talking about on God now? Like, on God, everything they say, you know, like, yeah, man. What you doing, man? Shit, I ain't doing shit, man. On God, bro. I need to be trying to, man, you know, on God, bro. Like, damn, that's how you gonna be saying in hell. Yeah, you got Snoop Snoop. Yeah, put him in, this hell now, you know, put him in Dungeon 4. Put Snoop Snoop ass in Dungeon 4. They cut the flames up on his ass. Man, you think he was snitching on the town? You think he was snitching on the town? That man, shit. That man really gonna be telling in the name of the Lord. Watch this, y'all. Look. Hold on, I need to go to my watch list right here because I already got everything matched up. That's why when Jesus came down here and rapped with Trey, do you want to have one of these? You know, we got one of those judgment seats over. Do you want one of those seats? I'm like, nah, you know what I'm saying? They were like, come on, Trey Gang, judge these young. You know, I'm like, man, I can't, you know what I'm saying, man, I just want to whoop some ass. Like, send me down there where you gonna, you know what I'm saying, and fuck the world up. I want to go and Draco me a nigga ass down. You know what I'm talking about? They're like, yeah, Trey Gang, he don't want to be the judge, you know. He want to be a soldier for the life of the Lord. And that's why we love Trey Gang. Cause he a soldier. Man, they already got me in the book of life. I already seen my name in it. Look, there he go lying again.
This is day 1 of my stepmom practicing Tai Chi.
This is day 26 of my.
Let's bring in my next guest, who, along with other local news outlets, has been receiving letters allegedly coming from someone who knows the kidnapper, even the kidnapper, potentially. Let's bring in TMZ founder Harvey Levin. Harvey, boy, this gets weirder and weirder day by day. And this morning we wake up and we find out nobody's been arrested, nobody's in custody, but we had a ton of police activity just 2 miles away from Nancy Guthrie's house, potentially within this 2-mile radius that the police have been asking for doorbell dash.
And check this out, and that's right around the daughter house. See, I'm catching on this investigation. This investigation around the daughter house where they went and took all them little two little bags. So I see why they need all those surveillance cameras, because they want that route.
Cam video. First, give me your quick observation on where you think we are this morning. Does this feel like a letdown?
Well, it's a letdown because they haven't caught the kidnapper and they haven't found Nancy Guthrie.
Hey, you just said something so real in the chat. That could be one of those moves for a good-ass book deal, because everybody going to buy that, John. The mysterious death of my mother, Nancy. It was on a Saturday night, the last time I seen my mother, we had the Last Supper. And my husband took her home and nobody never seen her since, you know what I'm talking about? They try to fill in the gap, make this shit sound like a Nick flick. Did you finna have documentaries on every documentary channel? Your #1 books finna be selling, including interviews. That's how you get on when you fucking with the Illuminati. If the Illuminati came to me right now, I'm like, Trey, gang, get rid of one of your homeboys, then I get rid of my homeboy. Guess what? I'm finna get paid all the interviews I'm doing. I'm finna get all the spotlight that I want. Everybody finna start following me because they were like, damn, Trey Gang really got away with murder. How the fuck he get away with it? I believe that nigga guilty and all this. And I done beat a murder child. And now I'm famous now. Now I want to do food reviews, goddamn skits and shit. Like, come on down to goddamn Rambo's Kitchen. I swear to God, come to Rambo's Kitchen. We got Draco wings. You know what I'm talking about? Everything. Look, check this out. I'm sitting, look, I'm a murderer. Then I got all my victims at menu. Yeah, come and get you a, what you want, a Snoop Deluxe? Yeah, you want a double quarter. Yeah, give me a little Snoop. And then the whole grill station be like, Snoop coming up. You know what I'm talking about? Everybody like, damn, that must be some real shit. Man, boom that motherfucker, goddammit. I'm like, look, watch this, y'all. Check them out. Watch this.
I was in touch with the law enforcement involved in this early this morning. And I asked them, is this in any way tied to the information that we have given the sheriff and the FBI? And I was told no. And, you know, as for, you know, what happened, it doesn't seem like they've kind of connected the dots. It was interesting. Yesterday morning, I sensed something was going on with law enforcement, that there were meetings. They have these kind of morning briefings that were going way longer. I just happened to find out about one of them, way longer than they normally did. And you know, I figured something was up, and they were also playing everything really close to the vest. It may have been this, I don't know. What I can tell you is that the FBI is keenly interested in the ransom note that we received. And I know this to be a fact. They are keenly interested because obviously, I mean, we supplied them with it.
No wonder why they'll be so interested. You got an email, brother, and they could trace the email. Man, bro, they're just like me calling the police, hanging up on them like they just can't come to where I'm at. That's the same thing they go for an email, right? This just to show you how fake the news is. So they want you to go with this narrative about somebody demanding Bitcoin. Then nobody didn't show up. The family quiet. You know what I'm talking about? They even reading from the script. Don't y'all see those videos when I showed y'all these people actually got paper in their hands and they got to read to say this? Mother, if you out there, if you listening, if you see anything strange up there, you call 911. But her phone at the house, what you think? Who gonna let her on the phone? The kidnappers? Hey, my name is here go the phone. Hey, Savannah. Hey, mommy, what's going on? Yeah, I'm here with the kidnappers. You told me to call you. They gave me the phone because I told them, I was like, please let me call. And they gave none of this shit, bro. They all acted in front of everybody, bruh. Shit, go to Nancy Grace. Nancy, man, look, I watched all of them. I said, man, look, let me watch all of them. I even went to sleep on this shit, watching video. Who can go to sleep and still listen to the video, you know, then at night and shit, you know what I'm saying? I do. What them out. It's all I heard, lying like a motherfucker. Even the dream, I'm listening to the, it's interpreting in my dreams. I'm like, I know they lying. I can see right through them. Cause look, man, you got a person gonna have to be in the car. Check this out. Person gonna have to be in the car. Where did the body go? You know what I'm saying? Like that, did they bring that? No, look, garage door, they done transport that lady, all this. Man, look, camera was already off in the house. Check this out. if the camera was already off in the house at 1:47 before the intruders got inside the house. That's crazy to me that nobody ain't gonna call them out on them, because you're gonna be like, damn, I remember all you, because you've been following her case. This is the best time to catch them up. Like damn, now I see why y'all want to knock it out. Talking about this camera was at 212. So what y'all did was cover up to whoever had access to the camera. They cut it off. Had the intruders to come in there. And check this out. In the video that we got right here, I bet you any kind of money, it wasn't that night. It wasn't that night. That's why you ain't got no timestamp on this shit. Man, this could have been a video shot, you know what I'm saying, before they filed the missing person report, bro. You see what I'm saying? Because the way they present the video, I'm like, wait a minute. The Nest cam. What's up with the Nest? And then look. Dude already know where to step. He familiar with the house. Whoever this suspect is, been to this house before. And is a regular at this goddamn house, bro. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even no forced entry. So so you see the doorknob right here. Is this the doorknob right there, right? And you see the lock on it. You got the doorknob and the lock on this junk. Why did check this out? Why did do a real suspect come in that junk like this here? Over that camera. He ain't even reaching for the doorknob. Then look how he grabbed it, like soft as hell, like, we just find some cover. He ain't even reach for the doorknob, bro. Didn't check, none of this. He just went straight to the camera. Come on, man. There ain't no kid. Check this out. I hope he ain't think he finna get no little bit ass sticks and let me shove this in the camera and hoping I can pop it off the goddamn foundation. Come on, bro. He right here in front of the house doing this shit. You ain't go to the back door. I guess they don't have cameras in the backyard. Probably ain't got cameras on the side of the house neither. Quite sure they got cameras somewhere in the pool, but I know it's a lot of camera angles in the inside of the house. You know what I'm talking about? And then look, and you know it's audio on these cameras, and you don't hear no audio on these junk. Let's let you know. Look.
Bernard Zaper. Bernard, what do you make of this report on the glove that was found? Male DNA, that's all they're saying so far. That really could be anybody.
It could be anybody, and I'm actually surprised that this information has been made public. And I'm
Bet she
also
linked
very
back to the
surprised that
family.
the scanning for the pacemaker telemetry is made public as well. Regardless, the investigators are not standing by for this DNA results. They have to go back and retrace everything they've done, and it's never a matter of waiting. They always have to be leaning forward into the investigation.
Kidnappers don't come into your house and go in your goddamn phone. Kidnapper will go in your house and leave your phone there at that moment. They ain't thinking about their phone, bro. Those ain't 911 call and all this old shit. But them folks ain't thinking about your phone. You got cases like this happen all the time where you got a suspect, a double female, and dump the phone out.
Investigation to see if there's any gaps, anything they can follow up on, and anything that newly matches and things that might have been before disconnected seemingly.
It's also kind of a teaching lesson that maybe if you're searching for somebody,
anything that newly matches and things that might have been before disconnected seemingly.
It's all.
And then what I just said, so that means they know somebody didn't disconnect the camera before the intruders went in the house. And that's what they got to cover up, and they don't know how to cover that part up because they already put it out there, bruh.
Also kind of a teaching lesson that maybe if you're searching for somebody in the desert, you don't want to discard your rubber gloves afterwards. I mean, if they found a dozen gloves and they think many of them belong to searchers, that's only complicating the investigation.
It certainly just makes it more cumbersome for them, but luckily they found something that was an outlier, and perhaps this is going to be something they need that's going to result in probably expediency in the case. Let's hope for that.
So, you know, that helicopter that's flying with the Bluetooth scanner, you think they should not have released that information, but does it seem like, does it seem like a, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I just don't see any investigative advantage to doing that. And same with the DNA information, because, you know, if somebody's watching and that's involved in this and they're monitoring news, and now they know that this is taking place, that could cause them to flee and leave a place where they're stationary. So if this was never put out, they wouldn't know that that's happening. And so if they did happen to pick up something, telemetry from a medical device, then they have something to act on. And so, you know, it's not investigatively or tactically advantageous to let the adversary, in this case, whoever abducted or is responsible for the harm to Miss Guthrie, to have that information. I just do not see any purpose to it whatsoever.
The helicopter, it seems like a bit of a, you know, stab in the dark to be flying this helicopter over looking for Bluetooth, a Bluetooth transmission from her pacemaker. That's a fairly weak signal, isn't it? This helicopter is going to have to be very low. It's going to have to fly that grid pattern, and you know, who knows whether they're going to be able to pick up anything or not.
I'm confident that the investigative team have spoken to the manufacturer of that device, and they're aware of its capabilities and limitations, so they feel that this is a worthwhile investment of time to do it.
Here's what Morgan Wright had to say. He knows a thing or two about Bluetooth and electronics. Listen to this.
A helicopter creates a lot of interference, sometimes electromagnetic interference, but that's why they're flying low to the ground. So the reason you fly low to the ground is that's low power Bluetooth. But if we know, and I'm sure this is why they're doing it, with that pacemaker, it has a what's called a MAC address, a machine addressable, but that's the unique identifier for it.
So worth trying, I guess, but you just think that.
Hold on. Did they just drop the bombshell? Did they just drop the bombshell? Then they said they linked the goddamn app, the Peacemaker app, back to a MAC address, a laptop. Really? Can you trace a Peacemaker? Can it got a track on it, like, you know what I'm saying? Man, this is crazy. This man just said this.
And sometimes electromagnetic interference, but that's why they're flying low to the ground. So the reason you fly low to the ground is that's low power Bluetooth. But if we know, and I'm sure this is why they're doing it, with that pacemaker, it has a what's called a MAC address, a machine addressable, but that's the unique identifier for it.
So worth trying, I guess, but you just think that they should not have let the information out there.
Yeah, I mean, why give advantage to the adversaries? In this case, you have people that are actively trying to probably evade capture, and more importantly, you have a woman who is taken against her will in unknown health condition, and so they need to do everything to be circumspect about the case, for them to have the maximum advantage of recovering her.
You've done an awful lot of investigations. Does it surprise you that we're 3 weeks into this one and no solid leads yet, or so it would appear? I mean, if
you know when this shit stay when they don't throw a police press conference. Cause I ain't seen not one police do a press conference. Normally they'll throw a press conference and give you a brief on the case, but you don't know. It's the worst thing to do. They already gave up too much information about the peacemaker and all this, cause some information that, you know what I'm saying, you don't want out there if you know you cover that up and you put the information out about the peacemaker, right? You don't think you might want to keep that peacemaker quiet? Like, don't mention the peacemaker. People look into that peacemaker, and then when they find out what's up with these peacemakers, you can find out the time of death, what time the crime being committed. Then you're gonna ask for cameras. Then you're gonna ask for everybody's phone. They said the app was disconnected. The app. Somebody manually disconnect the job. I wouldn't even be surprised somebody, look, check this out. The best way to do it, when things like that happen, you might want to go outside and check the cable box and make sure that nobody didn't cut the cable cord. On time out, cause there, boy, look at her, how much shit that you can know on time out. Cut that cable cord, you would dismantle some shit, goddamn it. I might want to look into the cable cord. See anybody cut the cable, tamper in with the service. You know, back in the day, this how burglars get in, disconnect the alarm outside, cause you know what I'm saying. You know, you got all the phone cords, all that. You could just easily cut them and disconnect the system like that too. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, lights and all. Cut the whole power off. Shit. You know, you gotta think like these criminals, you know what I'm saying? Cause you know, all criminals got their own unique, you know what I'm saying, they're doing things. Like, check this out. Like, how would you pull it off? Just think about how would you pull it off? You got all this to deal with, then all these neighbors. Then it's at 1 in the morning, you know what I'm about now. I don't know this environment, but man, you might have, goddamn it, fucking coyotes, wildlife roaming all through this. Man, I'd be scared to walk down the street thinking a grizzly bird somewhere around. They ain't got no street lights, no nothing. Now she got a pool. This lady got a pool. Look, lady got a pool. Boom. Check this out. See, can the suspect go through her? Go through the back door? Normally they'd be all locked. Cause normally you can might well say if you stay in a neighborhood like this here, bro, some of these people don't lock their doors. You know what I'm saying? Cause look at the neighborhood. You don't need no reason to lock the door cause there ain't nothing going on. You know what I'm talking about? What you say that jump a compound? It could be. It could be, goddammit. I don't know. But once you look, you got a back door right here. Shit. You can close the garage door and leave the back door unlocked. Like, yeah, come through this back door, go in. You got access to the house. You can walk. Clearly, I can see. It could be glass doors right here. You could probably see in that joint. You know what I'm saying? You go to the pool, walk around all this junk, check for windows. Ain't nobody gonna see nothing. So how would they get in the house? Through an unlocked door or somebody already in there because somebody dismantled everything. If the police didn't say, hey, they cut the power line, hey, they cut the system, this how they dismantle everything, they would have told you this shit, bro. You see what I'm saying? They would have told you all this. No forced entry. They don't want to disclose. Who turned the goddamn app off? The phone. Because when it comes to the phone, you got to take your fingerprints. I mean, you got to take your gloves off. Everybody know that you go to work and wear gloves and shit and you on your phone. Don't you know you got to take your gloves off to get in on your phone? You can't type nothing with no gloves on, bro. It ain't gonna connect. So guess what? You gonna have DNA on the phone. See what I'm saying? But you got these people here, right? Check this out. Hold up. Wait a minute. Contradictory. Yeah, we trace this shit back to a MAC address. A MAC address, that's a laptop. You ain't say an iPhone address or Android IP, you know. You said a MacBook. It's a MacBook. Look.
If you thought at first that maybe this was a well-planned, well-organized abduction, that would be one thing. But the guy standing on the porch in that creepy video doesn't exactly seem like a top-tier criminal.
You know, there's a lot of investigative resources put at this, and I think they're making the best progress that they can. And although some parts of it seem simple, it's actually pretty complex to go from knowing nothing to getting to the point where they're probably at now. You know, secondly, it's very difficult to speculate when you're on this side of the investigative veil because we don't know what's really happening and what the investigative team has. So I hear and see, from my opinion, that they're having progress, and we can hold hope that they're fully into this thing.
Tai Chi walking starts on Monday, February 16th. It's made for women over 55 who wants to see visible results.
They want y'all to do the salt trick. Y'all be seeing no commercial lately like, oh yeah, my man did the salt trick. And he done got aroused in there. Now I'm like, man, why they keep showing me these ads, bro?
Let's look at all the evidence. So yesterday we were all just horrified because this man in the mask is seen in the video. Doesn't look like he knows what he's doing.
So the doorbell camera was right here. Where the doorknob at, y'all? Remember where I showed y'all where the doorknob was at? Man, these folks finna get this work over here, bro. Remember the doorknob, goddamn it, right here? That doorknob right there. And you got a camera right above the doorknob. Let's see what this camera will match up with the doorknob. Because you see the wall right here? That means boom. You know what door. All right, go to this. Watch this.
He's grabbing like flowers from the flower bed in the front or a brush or whatever that is.
It's just such
and
a
tries
bizarre
to,
move.
so bizarre. Just, he doesn't know what he's doing. So those were the discovered images. Thankfully, Nest worked with the FBI to release those images. She didn't keep her subscription up. So thankfully, the last image, when he ripped that camera off the wall, those were the ones that were saved. It took a long time for Nest.
So if you look at the camera, if you got the doorknob right here and the camera is positioning on the other side, come on, man. Look. You see what I'm saying, bro? God damn, bro. What the fuck? Really? And you look at this, and you look at this armor with the doorknob. And it's a glass door too. That's a glass door. You can
To be able to discover those because of the subscription. If you have a Nest camera, renew your subscription. It's $100 for the year because then they can immediately get your images. So that's what we saw first. Then you see where the Nest camera used to be. When he ripped that off, he thought he was doing himself a favor. Didn't think they could recover these images, and thankfully Nest was able to. And then look at that third picture. The blood was found on the porch. That's Nancy Guthrie's blood. Think about that. This evil man terrorized this woman while she was sleeping, 84 years old. She's there. She's raised 3 great kids. One of them is our friend and a nice lady. And
they friend, and you know they finna take up for their friend. And you see how she added so much emotion to like, this creep. Look, check this out. Man, y'all, they said the blood that was found wasn't hers. But in the beginning, they said the blood that was found was her. They changed the narrative on that. In y'all face. Look.
This guy goes in and terrorizes her in the middle of the night, and that is her blood on the front walkway of her own house. This is America. You should not be able to do that. Anyone who can do that is evil, in my opinion.
And then you got the pacemaker, lost connection with the phone. This was very crucial for the agents working this case because it helps with the timeline. And then there's the other theory of many theories that many of the people working on this case, the alleged ransom letter that was sent out to news outlets. And we found out that there was movement when it came to that Bitcoin, about $300. Now, Harvey was on with Sean last night. He didn't want to get into the detail about how much money was moved in the account that he was tracking. Here's Harvey on with Hannity.
It was just before 4 o'clock LA time, 7 o'clock Eastern time. There was activity for the first time, Sean, in that Bitcoin account, the link of which is in that first ransom letter that we obtained. We've been checking it every few minutes, and for the first time it surfaced.
Folks are dying from straining on the
See,
toilet.
I told you, bruh. Bruh. Guess how much it would pay? $6 million. Why no YouTube is saying nothing about it? It was $6 million paid. The man said it out his own mouth. Look.
And I'm sounding the alarm. Watch this. Hello, I'm a paramedic, and what I'm gonna
Now, Harvey was on with Sean last night. He didn't want to get into the detail about how much money was moved in the account that he was tracking. Here's Harvey on with Hannity.
It was just before 4 o'clock LA time, 7 o'clock Eastern time. There was activity for the first time, Sean, in that Bitcoin account, the link of which is in that first ransom letter that we obtained. We've been checking it every few minutes, and for the first time it surfaced.
So you wonder if they're 2 separate tracks or they're the same tracks. Are they all working together? Because I just watched for about 12 hours of all the experts saying this guy is not an experienced criminal, and he's done some. It makes.
And it's funny, he tracking the Bitcoin and not the FBI. Nobody ain't tracing this shit but him. Come on, man. This is what happened when we watch too much goddamn entertainment and all these scripted ass movies. Cause when they do it in real life, bruh, when they do this shit in real life, it would be hard to be like, damn. Look, they paid $6 million, and you just heard the man confirm that. I'm watching this shit. I'm like, damn, they paid the $6 million. So guess what everybody finna think now? The body finna show up. The body finna show up, right? Nobody. Look. Let me keep playing this
So many
shit.
mistakes and seems careless. And by the way, what about his demeanor? Relatively, I mean, he's about to break into a house. You would think he'd be somewhat frantic. He quietly looks around, grabs some flowers, and does the ridiculous thing of trying to cover up the camera and then eventually ripping it off the wall. And then you have somebody sophisticated enough to set up a Bitcoin wallet and make it in a way that's going to be very tough to trace. And
Might not even be this person.
Right. And it ended up with, I thought the number was $300, was in. We don't know if that number remains accurate.
It might have been police trying to test it to see if that individual who set up the account would bite and take the money out.
You know that when they grab your credit card, a lot of times they hit you with $1. When your credit card gets stolen, your numbers get stolen, and the next thing is a boom, the big hit right after.
I do think it's a critical question, though. Let's bring in our experts, retired Supervisor Special Agent James Gagliano, live outside of Nancy Guthrie's home, Fox News contributor, criminal defense attorney Josh Ritter, live outside of the Pima County Sheriff's Office. Let's go to you first, James, and discuss where Brian was talking about, but there may be two tracks to this investigation. My question to you is, how do you handle that? When you have a suspect image, and it's not, I guess, congruent with the profile you thought was the Bitcoin scammer that may be holding her hostage. Do you have two teams working both angles of that, James?
Well, LJ, to your point, modern police sciences, how we work these cases, involve a blending of technology and also wearing out shoe leather, getting out there, knocking on doors, or making that investigative detention last night down close to the border. So let me give you this quick little layout here. I know earlier today we kind of talked about the suspect, the video images of him, what we could take from that. Now, once that person left after damaging the Nest doorbell and getting inside the house, we ostensibly believe, because the FBI's released there was DNA inside the house. They did not say blood. What would they do? Where did they go? Well, right over my shoulder, this southwestern landscape out here, you've got, saguaro, cactuses out here. You've got the creosote bushes, agave plants. There are places that somebody under the cover of darkness, and we've talked about the opaque blackness out here of the sky, could have moved in between different piles of vegetation and not be seen. In this neighborhood, and we discussed this last hour, I believe, it's not laid out like Manhattan. It's not laid out in horizontal and vertical grids with avenues and streets. It is literally a scattershot curves of spokes that come off of a wheel. Yesterday, we did a lot of walking around here, trying to envision how this person could have gotten in, how they could have gotten out. Could they have come in on foot? Absolutely. But also, if they had an electric vehicle or if they had a nice muffler system, they could have driven into the neighborhood without lights on and escaped the Ring doorbells or the Nest doorbells from the neighbors. Most of the houses here are about 20 yards off of the roadway. And lastly, the camera systems. There are traffic cameras that are out on some of the major intersections surrounding the Catalina Hills here. But there were none at several of the entrances into this neighborhood that my producer and I walked around and saw yesterday. So could that person have left the front porch?
So basically, they got footage. Just say, I'm from the hood, right? I don't know where y'all from. I'm from the hood. And I know it's one way in and one way out the hood, right? Just say, at the gas station, camera's gonna show anybody coming in the neighborhood. You might don't see where they going, but you know they in the neighborhood. It's somebody's house. On somebody's street, right? You're gonna show that car coming in and you're gonna show it coming out. It ain't gonna show no crime scene that no. So any car coming in that neighborhood is going to be seen on the camera. And the person likely stopped at the goddamn stove. Because killers do. They always stop at the stove. Ooh, shit. I just got through killing a motherfucker. I need me something to drink. Yeah. Yeah, then you know what I'm saying? You buying the goddamn jungle juice. Then you got a big ass coat on, you know what I'm saying? Look like, man, where you been? Like, damn, you dressed up kind of funny, like, you know what I'm saying? I be reading into this shit, bro.
Here, gotten into a vehicle with Nancy Guthrie and been able to get out of this neighborhood without being able to be picked up by any other video technology? The answer to that, sadly, is yes.
Hey, Josh, how do you expand as we were splitting the screen with James, and how do you expand the search, knowing that, okay, this is what this guy looks like, this is where he could have entered, this is where he could have left, and also that cell phone that he had in his waist, was that pinging on or off? I understand you can get a perimeter on that. And how does that change when you go back to the red light cameras and you go back?
Did he say the suspect would have a cell phone in his waistline? That would make it even more creepy. Cause that means shit, you know what I'm saying? Who phone is that really the suspect phone, or that could have been the victim phone? You never know till you ask these type of questions. Don't let these people think for you. Cause this how they're gonna come to you every time. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know what's going on, if you dependent on them, they ain't finna give you the truth. Guess what they finna feed you? A conspiracy. They gotta protect one of their own. If it's a murder for hire and it's dealing back to Savannah, look at Savannah career. She done covered the Michael Jackson trial, OJ trial, Obama, presidents. Man, that's how, man, this lady look, chill is that. If this a murder for hire and a sacrifice, right? And it just say they know she got something to do with it. Want you to protect your people and hit us with this one?
To some of the things that we were seeing.
Yeah, what you're talking about is a geofencing, the idea that they can take that digital information from those cell phones and give themselves a geographic area that they're limited to, that they want to search. Cell towers in the area are picking up all of the cell phones active in that area, but they also now can limit it to a time period.
And Nancy Grace said the FBI got the technology. They can pull up any phone that was pinging in this area. Even if you got a burner phone, it's finna pick up the burner phone. Nancy Grace said it's a technology that if the police can't find the suspect, it's like who did it. And it just said like this murder case right quick. Just say they could pin every phone that was in that location at that time. It can get your whole tracking and your route. Cause once they ping it, guess what? They know what cell phone they've been pinging in this area. Ain't that some cold shit? Just say he could bought a burner phone that night and was in the area and left out. The police could pin that phone. Don't even expect for the phone to bring up. They just say like, I want to know who was in this area. Let me bing bing bing. It's a burner phone in this area. Who had the burner phone? Then they looking at the burner phone, tracking this area. It's just like an app phone, you know. Look, boom, they done tracked them. And guess what they did? They said they got this camera footage because they said the system was cut off and the FBI had to go back into the what they call it, the bag up system. When Nancy Grace said, hey, if you got cameras in your house and if a crime being committed, if your camera wasn't recording at the time that the crime was being committed, the FBI got a system in the file, in the system, that they can pull up footage. And your camera didn't even record it. Ain't that something? So basically they said the camera wasn't supposed to be working because the camera was disconnected, right? And they got this surveillance footage because they wanted to see who would be at the front door. That's crazy to me. They said that's how they got the footage on the backup system. They just like you turned your whole surveillance system off and you went to sleep and the murder happened and the police so desperate to find out, they were like, let me go to the backup system. She had a camera cord. We got a system in there. Let me back. And then they show you some shit like this. Look. Then they show you some shit like, look, they can pull all this up. So I want to hear no more about no footage wasn't on or recording at the time of a murder because the FBI got the power to pull unrecorded footage on surveillance footage. I still got the video when Nancy Grace said that shit, bruh. That's the interesting part about it. And then look, that's why they tracing it. Don't y'all know they tracing all the evidence back to the daughter house? Let's just say Savannah ain't got nothing to do with this. But her daughter, her sister might have something to do with this. And you know what I'm talking about? And playing the role, I give it that. Since you got the evidence, you might well just go on and bust the sister and the husband with the murder, and you can make Savannah look more victim, and goddamn it, and really get some money out of her, bro. The way I'm looking at the way they thinking, I'm like, well, shit. If they get caught, evidence lead back, bust them. You got to. Look. Annie home. Nancy, look. Nancy home. They even giving y'all the route on this shit, bro.
That they're concerned with. So they've got geography, they've got a time period, they're able to limit down this search, perhaps see what phones are active. Listen, many people living in that area, I'm sure, still have their phones on at night, like many of us do, but are any of them active? Are any of them moving? Middle of the night in that area? Likely not. So they continue to whittle this down. I do think that this case is, as much as we have this new information with the surveillance, I think that's huge. They're going to get a lot of tips on that. But I think this case is going to be solved through analysis. And what I mean by that is I believe that law enforcement right now has the evidence that they need to break this case in their possession. It's just a matter of finding it. Proof of that being this cell phone, or pardon me, this surveillance video that they've had for days. It was just a matter of being able to find that within the haystacks of ones and zeros of the digital evidence that they were able to find this needle and give us this video. That's huge. I think that's how this case is going to eventually break.
So, James, investigators can get video from Google, from Nest, in 3 different ways. The feds can get a search warrant from a judge to issue to Google. A family can have authorized or can ask Google to authorize to conduct a search, or Google could have voluntarily opted to track it down. In this case, it was the FBI, right, who got the search warrant. Speak on that and why it took the 10 days. Is it because she didn't renew her subscription? Is that why it took longer to go to the server, to go to the company, search through all the video?
How I'm upping my lawn game this year. I've been trying to care for my lawn myself, but it's difficult to figure out exactly.
Yeah, so Angie, let's go back in time a little bit. Think about 2015 and the husband and wife terrorist team out in San Bernardino, California.
Check this out. Did y'all know that she covered the biggest case when it came to a kidnapping? Y'all remember Savannah covered a big kidnapping case. A girl got abducted, and you know what I'm saying, about her tackle, you know what I'm saying? She covered that case. Go look at some, you'll know exactly the case I'm talking about. So it's like they'll study from these murder cases and reenact these same murders that they done convict people on. You know what I'm saying?
The FBI at the time was stonewalled because we were trying to get into the Apple phone of the terrorists who had been shot and killed when law enforcement interdicted them. It brought to light a whole story about proprietary interests in these companies that have these encrypted devices. They don't want to give that technology up. Well, the FBI ended up being successful by getting some young kid who was a hacker to work with our scientists and figure out how to do that. Since that, and this has happened in Congress, where they've had hearings there to discuss this, where are your Fourth Amendment protections, and where does security and where do you blur the line between, I want to keep the country safe, but I also want civil liberty protections. Well, in this instance, how did they data mine this? The Operational Technology Division, those are the 10-pound brain scientists and special agents that are working out of Quantico. They basically cooperated with Google, which is, the parent company, I guess, or the owner of this Nest technology. Because Nancy Guthrie did not have a subscription, those videos, the ones that we saw, they get scrolled over every 3 to 4 hours. But it doesn't.
As far as I'm concerned, they could be a family member of her. They got the same eyebrows and shit, you know what I'm talking about? Right? Hold on. Let's go to the career. She covered the September 11th, the Pentagon, the anthrax. I remember that. The anthrax. Look at all the similarities. Just look at all the pattern and the similarity. I remember that. Right? Hold on. She covered the anthrax, September, the Pentagon. She worked at a law firm, so she know her laws. Here go the case. Right here. Catherine Harris, who was supported of Nick Lumpkins, right, in response of a kidnapping, rape, murder of 11-year-old, right? 11-year-old. She covered the Martha Stewart case, right? She covered the Martha Stewart scandal, the Michael Jackson trial, right? She covered some big stuff. Salon Payne, right? That's her career. Obama. Look, the U.S. Secretary, Ash Carter. She conducted an interview with Donald Trump. She even covered the Conrad Murray with the Michael Jackson and the death of Osama bin Laden. She always in the Mason. The Rockefellers. Shit. That lady busy later, ain't it? Remember the pandemic, COVID-19, right? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, so this what they do, bruh. This what they do. She appeared as herself in the 30 Rock. Watch the 30 Rock, so I don't know what the 30 Rock would be out, you know. Fixing the live sketch comedy, go to a night live. Rock. Oh. Alley Yeah. TV show in history. What? I could cast and she got some pulled on it, man. Character. Tell him what the goddamn jump supposed to be about. I just got to watch the show and just see. Yeah, right. And go for the. I won't. I just gonna have to watch the jump and see what's going on. It's childish. This ain't just really give me too much detail what this shit about. But I get back into all that. Who's still way up and pro. He again irritated. Really good. He was. I'll get back to that later. But y'all see that lady career though, bro. If you look at that lady, bro, and then you look at this shit, look at the eyebrow.
Didn't fully get deleted, and I'm not a tech guy, but from what I've understood talking to people involved, they were able to go into this vast trash receptacle of quote-unquote deletions, and they were able to plumb the depths. And then when I say depths, I mean deep down there, and pull this out. Was 10, 11 days too long? Could, to Josh's point, they have been in possession of this for 2 or 3 days and maybe wanted to work on a couple of other leads and make the decision later to release it? Absolutely possible. The fact that we have it, this is going to be part of the margin of victory in this case.
I bet their stock is through the roof because so many people that I'm friends with that have older parents were saying, we're buying Nest cameras, we're buying Ring doorbells, we're renewing our subscriptions because we don't want this to happen.
Lastly, Josh, because a lot of our audience may have gone to bed and they saw the breaking news that there was a person of interest that was detained. That person has now been released. It doesn't mean they're clear from the investigation, but this person has done interviews, even with us, our own Matt Finn this morning.
So how the police and the feds will be detaining all these people that don't got nothing to do with the case? So where they getting their tips and leads from? All this shit is distraction.
Make it a habit. A 10-minute AI routine every morning. You'll be unrecognizable. Make it a habit. A 10-minute AI routine every morning. You'll be unrecognizable.
Now, something else I wanted to ask you here.
Caesar Milan, how to add years to your dog's life. Sardines.
Nine.
Bone broth.
Then.
We come on the air with some breaking news as we continue to follow the latest in the search for Nancy Guthrie. We do know 3 people were detained late last night. That's according to Fox News. And Fox reports the source giving this information says after receiving a tip, authorities detained 2 males plus one of their moms. The source said a warrant had been served. The source cautioned that during a warrant execution, technically everyone is detained. Meanwhile, officials with the Pima County Sheriff's Department said law enforcement activity is underway at a residence near.
So they had to have proper cause, and the judge had to sign off on this. What was the proper cause for them to have a warrant to go in these people's house? That's crazy to me. You got to have something to go up in there. And everybody knows the feds don't fuck up. You know, the feds, you know what I'm saying? You know, they conviction rate down there 99.99. Automatic. They're going to do investigation and get all the information they need and bust your ass. Why not in this case? It's like they run around the whole city trying to match a motherfucker with the person that's on the camera and make everybody think like, damn, they trying to find out who did it. And they just busting random people, bruh.
East Orange Grove Road and North First Ave related to the Guthrie case. Because this is a joint investigation at the request of the FBI, no additional information is currently available. So that was a post there that was shared to X from the Pima County Sheriff's Office. We also do know a Pima County Sheriff's SWAT vehicle was seen leaving the active law enforcement area about 2 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home. I'm going to ask my producer to get that up here, that SWAT vehicle image that was also shared to social media. The departure comes after a long line of additional vehicles, possibly law enforcement, was ushered into the area where authorities have been operating following earlier warrant activity. Officials have not released new information about the operation or who may be involved. Now, just to quickly recap here, this comes as a press conference still not being announced from officials as of this morning. Also coming after a busy few days in this investigation where earlier this week, if you remember, video and photo surveillance footage was shared with the public and a white tent was put up outside of the entryway to Guthrie's home and quickly taken down. But I wanted to share this here with you. This is some of the footage we're getting in from overnight there, as late last night, police activity could be seen 2 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home, and local police and several unmarked vehicles, including forensics and SWAT teams, could be seen gathering 2 miles from that home there in Tucson, Arizona. And Arizona Sheriff's Department says it received more than 4,000 calls 24 hours after videos of a masked person on Guthrie's porch.
I don't think they got that many calls. I believe they just hyping it up, try to make it look like, yeah, man, tip pouring in. But really, you know what I'm saying? I don't think I don't think ain't no 4,000 people named. I know they got some tips or something. But not no 4,000 people like, you know what I'm saying? That just to make the whole narrative sound good, like everybody interested, but everybody already know everybody interested in the case. But if you lie about the numbers, about the tips and all this shit, come on, man. Y'all the feds. You got access to technology that we don't even got, and we depending on these people to tell us what's going on, and these goddamn people giving everybody the runaround. How did we watch FBI profile these people show you how they solve cases all the time, and majority be through email? I know not to send an email if I committed a crime, even if it's a fake account. I know not to do that. If I know not to do that, just think about what a professional do. A real body snatcher, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Come on, bro.
Which were released. 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie first reported missing on February 1st, so we are now officially at the 2-week mark here. To share more about what we know so far and what we still don't know is Bobby McDonald, former Secret Service. And thank you so much for joining us, as always, on Live Now from Fox. Bobby, we do appreciate it.
Good morning. Always great to be back with you.
A lot to discuss here, obviously. Let's start with this. Why have we not had a press conference? Pima County putting out on social media, we'll have an update for you when we feel it's appropriate to have an update. But at this point, this feels like a big development. So why are we not getting a press conference?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I'm not sure that I have a good answer for you. I think that the Pima County out there has decided to kind of shut down their communications to the public with respect to the fact that their early on communications efforts really didn't go very well. And now you've got that combination of the FBI little rift, if you will, that's out there. It's a little bit troubling. Look, I'm all about keeping information close to the vest when we're in the middle of an investigation, but we're 2 weeks into this now, and we're dealing with an individual who is related to a very notoriety person in our society. So I'm a little bit concerned that we're not getting anything, but I am happy to see that a search warrant was effected last night, and hopefully that's going to be moving us in the right direction.
Yeah, and Bobby, before I continue with my questions here, I did want to put this up on the screen, as we do like to have our viewers write in and ask these questions. So if you have a question about this case, please scan that QR code in the top right-hand corner of your screen. We're going to be answering these questions live here throughout this interview with Bobby McDonald. So once again, open up the camera app on your smartphone, tap and scan that QR code, or you can head to livenowfox.com/connect. Please weigh in. We'd love to hear from you. All right, Bobby, let's continue, though. So I just want to get into the technicalities of what some of these terms that we're hearing from law enforcement are. When authorities say 3 people were detained during the execution of a warrant, what does that typically mean in terms of this investigation?
So when that warrant is obtained, that we have to go through a magistrate or a judge that has to sign off on that warrant. Police have to indicate that they're looking for something specific within that house that would be related to the case that they're investigating. So when that warrant is effected at the house, those individuals are identified and are asked to hop over there into the dining room and sit down, and we'll get back to you when we find either what we're looking for or when we're finished going through your home looking for the items that we're looking for. So they are not arrested at that point, but they are being detained.
I won't even be surprised if they do got a lead on these folks, and the people that we actually see is actually the people that's involved with it, and they finna cover up these people all because of who she related to, bruh. I don't know. I'm just trying to throw some shit out there. Cause you gotta look, ain't no Fed just finna just run up in your shit and just, you know what I'm saying? They got to know something. You gotta have a judge to sign off. That means you gotta have proper cause. You got to have some type of proper cause for you to go up in there. That means it was something. Somebody sent you information that was valuable and you had to go there. Like for a prime example, right? This don't even seem right to me. When they interviewed the dude, hold on. Let me find the dude right there.
At that moment, at that location, for the actions that are going to be taken by the police department and the FBI in this case.
And as I shared here, I feel like we have slowly been getting more information after waiting for quite some time to get information to come out about this. I just had up on our screen here that surveillance video that was released earlier this week here to the public from law enforcement. My question to you, Bobby, why are there no timestamps on this surveillance video? Does that play a factor into this?
The timestamps with respect to Ring cameras or Nest cameras, these are for personal use. So their algorithms and technology, unless you're asking for it or you purchase that aspect of it, really don't have timestamps necessarily. They're more for security purposes. Obviously, this snippet is well known now to be involved in this case, and it would be great if we would have some timestamps. But a lot of the technology with the assets and tools that we use in our homes or around our businesses don't necessarily have that technology involved.
Right. And I just wanted to quickly recap for our viewers who are just tuning in here as we do await some viewer questions come in. We saw this was released here, that backpack that police put out just the other day. But I also wanted to share this here. And this was this white tent that we saw go up just a few days ago outside of the entryway to Nancy Guthrie's home. That tent was taken down a short time later. I mean, I think we're talking just maybe 2 or 3 hours at that point because we were bringing this live to our viewers. What do you make of that? Why would a tent be going up outside of the entryway to the home where that footage was recorded and then taken down so quickly?
You know, I think when we look at this investigation, and we're 2 weeks into it now, we've got the home of Nancy Guthrie, we've got the home of the daughter and son-in-law. There just seems to have been a little bit of disjointedness in this investigation. And investigations don't always go according to script, or as we see on a 30 or 60-minute TV show, on Friday night. So they have been all over the place a little bit, and it does look a little disjointed. But obviously there was some nugget of information, some nugget of evidence there that they wanted to obtain, or they wanted to test, or something was found in that area, and they were able to effectively decide its relevance in a short period of time.
Now, something else I wanted to ask you here. We heard from Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos as he denied claims that his department had not been cooperating with federal authorities after reports law enforcement there had withheld key evidence from the FBI. But we did see this post here from the Pima County Sheriff's Department, as this was just put out a couple hours ago at this point. And you and I were chatting before this interview about this key line here that reads, because this is a joint investigation at the request of the FBI, no additional information is currently available. So what does that mean to you here? Does that mean that they are now working together? What's the significance of that post?
Well, as I said yesterday, we need to have a federal nexus for the FBI to be the lead agency here. And I'm not sure that we have that yet, but the Pima County folks could certainly defer to the FBI to become the lead. So that comment right there indicates to me that there is some little bit of a rift going on, or they have turned the corner and are starting to work together a little bit better. You know, it's unfortunate.
I believe they working together. That's all. Let me find dude right quick, y'all, so I can show y'all the video, because they didn't sit right with me.
That the optics of that are very poor, where we should be focused on finding Nancy Guthrie and working together. There are a lot of officers and agents and technicians and doing a lot of hard work there, 12-hour shifts, a lot of meticulous work. The Pima County Sheriff's Office also has to continue its daily protection of its county. So there's a whole lot going on out there, and we really need to get the focus and stop having us talk about the rift that may be going on with those agencies. And let's focus getting back to finding Nancy Guthrie.
Yeah, and for our viewers just tuning in here, we're just sharing this news that we're learning over.
Like, what's your name? Carlos, and that's it. They put me in the cop car.
He also told reporters he works as a delivery driver and that he didn't know who Nancy or Savannah Guthrie are.
I don't follow the news. I hope they get the suspect, because I'm not it. They better do their job and find the suspect that did it so they can clear my name.
FBI Director Kash Patel said this on Fox News last night.
I'm not it. They better do their job and find the suspect that did it so they can clear.
Yeah, he even looked like Kash Patel on that job.
My name.
FBI Director Kash Patel said this on Fox News last night before it all began to unfold.
With any investigation, you are a person of interest until you're either eliminated or you're actually found to be the culprit or the culprits involved.
These developments came hours after the FBI released chilling new images of an armed, masked person wearing gloves outside Nancy Guthrie's home, captured by a security camera the night she went missing.
Hopefully the trap is closing on this suspect. Hopefully they feel that pressure. This is the break they needed.
Savannah Guthrie also posted the doorbell camera images on her social media Tuesday and a message saying, "We believe she is still alive. Bring her home." Law enforcement continues to ask the public to report any information to their tip line. In her posts yesterday, sharing that doorbell camera video, Savannah Guthrie also said, quote, "Someone out there recognizes this person." Errol.
We continue to monitor the ongoing search for Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie. It's now been 10 days since she disappeared from her home in Tucson. Late yesterday, Savannah posting a new video pleading for the public for help. Gabriella Bacara has the latest.
The clock is ticking in the search for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie.
We are at an hour of desperation, and we need your help.
Today Show host Savannah Guthrie sharing a fourth video on Instagram since her mother is suspected to have been kidnapped from her Catalina Foothills home in Tucson on February 1st.
She was taken and we don't know where.
This latest video comes just a few hours before a deadline expired in a possible ransom letter demanding millions of dollars in Bitcoin in exchange for Nancy's safe return. According to TMZ, the ransom has not been paid, something Savannah didn't address in the video despite previously vowing to pay it.
We believe.
But he said they paid the ransom. They've been monitoring the Bitcoin and it's been paid. Then they recanted and said, no, they didn't pay it. Look, what this sound like now?
We continue to monitor the ongoing search for Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie. It's now been 10 days since she disappeared from her home in Tucson. Late yesterday, Savannah posting a new video pleading to the public for help. Gabriella Bacara has the latest.
The clock is ticking in the search for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie.
We are at an hour of desperation. And we need your help.
Today Show host Savannah Guthrie sharing a fourth video on Instagram since her mother is suspected to have been kidnapped from her Catalina Foothills home in Tucson on February 1st.
She was taken and we don't know where.
This latest video comes just a few hours before a deadline expired in a possible ransom letter demanding millions of dollars in Bitcoin in exchange for Nancy's safe return. According to TMZ, the ransom has not been paid, something Savannah didn't address in the video despite.
Keep this in mind, they didn't reach out to her, they reached out to TMZ. So when you look at this here, don't it sound like that she can make one phone call and be like, look, TMZ, I really need your help to get me out of this shit. And the people they were sacrificed, they always got pictures of them laughing like my dear mother. And come to find out you is setting her up.
Despite previously vowing to pay it.
We believe our mom is still out there. Law enforcement is working tirelessly around the clock trying to bring her home, trying to find her.
A spokesperson for the FBI tells me they're not aware of any continued conversations between the Guthrie family and possible kidnappers. The FBI, along with the Pima County Sheriff's Department, has yet to identify a suspect or a person of interest in the case.
They are being transparent, but they're not going to give everything because they just can't at this point.
Well, new developments in this investigation feel slow moving. Troy Hillman, a retired Phoenix police detective, tells me there's likely a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes.
Well, the whole case is a kind of a powder keg pressure because of the high profile nature, and you've got the whole country and the world kind of looking over their shoulders. But they're very highly trained as a group.
So when they show stuff like this here, cold cases matter, Drake ain't finna tell the world they never gonna find a body. And they never gonna have a suspect. And the reason for that, because the public is not calling them out on their live. They're gonna keep doing it. Look, have you noticed when we start watching FBI shows, you know, when FBI shows start coming out, like Cops, First 48, Forensic File, they starting out by solving murders. And the minute they find out that people love conspiracy, they ain't solving no more murder. It's like conspiracy, you know what I'm saying? Look.
the world kind of looking over their shoulders. But they're very highly trained as a group. They're all working together, and they're going to figure this out.
Savannah is pleading for help bringing her mom home.
I'm coming on just to ask you, not just for your prayers, but no matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson, if you see anything, if you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement.
The FBI says it still hasn't determined whether any of the letters are legitimate. Investigators are also trying to determine if a second note was the same origin as the first one sent to several news outlets.
We're Phoenix Energy, a family-owned oil company focused on unleashing American oil from North Dakota and Montana. We've already sold over 2.
Nancy Guthrie's family says they will pay for her safe return as a possible ransom deadline approaches. An unverified ransom note is demanding $6 million in Bitcoin by this evening. And in a new video, Today Show host Savannah Guthrie and Nancy's other children say they'll pay, but they need proof of life first. Meanwhile, police returned to Nancy's Arizona home this weekend, but say they still don't have any suspects. Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Gutersky is in Tucson, Arizona with more.
With no suspects and no leads, and faced with a demand for Bitcoin and a deadline today imposed by someone claiming to be her mother's kidnapper, Savannah Guthrie solemnly pledged to pay for Nancy Guthrie's return.
We received your message, and we understand.
Now look how the other daughter, the husband, the one that dropped it off, do it look like she doing the most? Where's your husband in this pleading for proof of life? No truth. It sounds like all three of these motherfuckers got something going on. Cause at a time like this, don't you think you supposed to have all the family there, like your nieces, your cousins, your aunts, your aunts? You know what I'm saying? Not. Cause I can see why. Cause you don't want no family member be like, yeah, I want to tell y'all, you know what I'm saying, Savannah, and you know what I'm saying. And the family got a little dispute. We get along. This side of the family get along. This side of the family don't get along. You got to know all this shit, bro. Then you'll find out the motive. Check this out. What would be the motive to go through all of this shit over that lady? One motive is financial gain. That comes with a lot of fame, spotlight. You can play victim. Your career could jump. Her book career gonna skyrocket when she write anything about her mother. Him, he gonna benefit and everybody get paid and voila. And guess what we gonna be? Man, what happened to Nancy, man? Oh, man, pray for the family,
We
man.
beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her.
This shit look
This is the
fake.
only way we will have peace.
Man, this shit look fake. The way he looking down, bruh. Stop it. Man, you would have had your kids, all this supporting you. None of that, right? None of that shit. Hell no.
This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
The search has become a sensation for the public, but a private horror for the family.
We are always going to be merely human.
Shit. Look, now they got the writer script. Look at the past. Cause it was her husband the one that last seen her. Watch this.
Just normal human people who need our mom. Mama. Mama, if you're listening, we need you to come home. We miss you.
Investigators
Mama.
have returned repeatedly to Annie Guthrie's home.
No.
The
They don't sound
for
right.
Nancy Guthrie's return.
We received your message, and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us,
and we will
And her
pay.
husband
The search
missing
has
in
become a
every
sensation for the
interview.
public, but a private horror for the family.
We are always going to be merely human, just normal human people who need our mom. Mama, if you're listening, we need you to.
Damn, you got to read that? Look at that. Stop playing with me.
Come home. We miss you.
Investigators have returned repeatedly to Annie Guthrie's home, where her mom enjoyed dinner and a Saturday game night before returning to her house a few minutes away. Investigators have also returned to Nancy Guthrie's home, examining rooftop cameras, towing a car, and inquiring of neighbors. This drone video capturing investigators examining what appears to be the septic tank on Guthrie's property. The sheriff's department said this remains an active and ongoing investigation, but after more than a week, investigators have not identified any suspects, persons of interest, or vehicles connected to this case. As the investigation stretches into a second week now, Diane, there are grave concerns about Nancy Guthrie's health. She relies on daily medication. The FBI is still offering a reward for information, but so far that information has been sparse. Diane?
All right, Aaron Katursky, thank you. Let's bring in ABC contributor and retired FBI agent Brad Garrett for more on all of this. Brad, investigators returned to Nancy's home over the weekend, nearly 2 weeks after her disappearance. Based on your experience, do you have any sense of what they're looking for?
Probably corroboration to what was ever in the email message that started this whole thing.
Whoa! An email started it? Did I just hear that? Hold on. Let me rewind that and just hear what I just heard about email that's linking back to who?
On week now, investigators have not identified any suspects, persons of interest, or vehicles connected to this case. As the investigation stretches into a second week now, Diane, there are grave concerns about Nancy Guthrie's health. She relies on daily medication. The FBI is still offering a reward for information, but so far that information has been sparse. Diane?
All right, Aaron Katursky, thank you. Let's bring in ABC contributor and retired FBI agent Brad Garrett for more on all of this. Brad, investigators returned to Nancy's home over the weekend, nearly 2 weeks after her disappearance. Based on your experience, do you have any sense of what they're looking for?
Probably corroboration to what was ever in the email message that started this whole thing. Did they mention specific items that have been moved, their location, where there is blood, things that then would corroborate that at least you feel comfortable that the bad guys were actually in this house? So, that's one aspect. The other could be a forensic one, that they've come up with, let's say, DNA of a possible person and going back and searching for that. So, that's one of the reasons, Diane, you keep houses in the custody of law enforcement as long as possible. But I think that's probably the key reasons.
Brad, a nearby gas station also says it handed over surveillance video of what they called a suspicious vehicle. Is that the kind of thing that can really break a case like this?
Yes.
There is no doubt. I would say based on experience that the vast majority...
Just by that video alone at the gas station. If you suspect Trey Gang at a murder, what you think you're going to suspect if you see my truck at a goddamn gas station at the time of murder? I'm in the area. Look. And they said they got this shit from an email. So that means Harvey got an email from somebody, and the feds got an email from somebody else and say, hey, go check that septic tank. Where is the body? It's got to be somewhere around. It's got to be somewhere around, bro. I don't think it's going to be at the house, though. Because, you had the power. You could do what you do with a body, cremate it, and then report a restage all of it. Oh, my mother's missing. She ain't answering the door. My God, what's happening here? They want working, yeah, man. I want to find this person reporting this thing. You know, they got everybody trying to find this lady, and these bastards already know what happened to her and where she at, how it's done, and you know what I'm saying. You got money like that, bro. That's the same thing in the John Bonet rounds and White did shit. It's all similar. White did.
Majority of those type of leads don't go anywhere. But having said that, all you need, to your point, is
John Bonet Ramsey, ransom note. See this shit? And this person wrote the note, they said inside the goddamn house. Now look at this shit. Once you go to the Ramsey note, right? And if you look at the mother, they already identified there was her handwriting on the note. Now they got DNA of the killer who actually did it, but don't want to disclose who the killer actually is. Then the daddy, the reason why they tired the daddy, because he was working for you know who, and he was making some money, and next thing you know, they demanded all the man money. Come on, bruh. Shit, this shit ain't been going on. Shit. Don't you know how many look. Then they try to put it off on the son like he know how to take a news. He was a kid. And you can tell the way he raised, like, man, something creepy about him. Like, you know what I'm saying? He just probably know his parents and know what these people into. What if these people was into witchcraft and sacrifice the girl, bruh? If you go back and look at their story, when I first watched this story, I knew it was something suspicious about this story, bro. I ain't thinking about like a cover up, the police involved. In my mind, I'm like, the police gonna find out what the fuck going on. And I'm like, these people got to be clever to trick the police. But the whole time, these people could have a good law enforcement connection. You never know. Shit, when this shit first hit, I remember when this shit first hit, just say, you don't know if this man is amazing, she an Eastern star. You know what I'm saying? We don't know none of this shit, bro. We just go along with TV show was, bro. Anything TV can say, hey, look, here go the ransom note. All these boys down, they know this lady handwriting. So that means they stage everything. I was look. Why they already beat me to it, jumping they Ramsey father up. Oh, they look. You see what I'm saying? Golly. So, and then look, single glove found 2 miles. That's right up in. Check this out. When they say they be finding all those gloves and all that, they finding them in the sister neighborhood, in her area, close to her area. Don't that sound strange, y'all? If you go back and look at the John Bonet Ramsey case all over again, you'll look at it different, bro. Hi y'all. Man, Trey ain't love y'all, man. Y'all be cool and y'all be safe. I'll be back, goddamn, with a round or two. I got videos dropping about Epstein and the devil, because you got a lot to learn about the devil when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein, because that man is a brilliant man, intelligent, that man, and I ain't gonna lie, the man got to be the smartest man in the world right now, to be honest with you. Because everybody treat that man like God, and I know why they treat him like God. Man, don't y'all know I downloaded the Jeffrey Epstein file? I seen Chris Tucker, Diana Ross, Michael Jackson. Man, all those people in that jump, bro. I said, damn. Man, they got Chris Tucker with Bill Clinton at the table, bro. Like, I'm like, damn, these people eating in castles, bro. I see why Chris Tucker ain't got to make no more movies in this life ever again. He well connected. Man, then that made me think like, damn, Michael Jackson was a real visitor at the Epstein filing. And then it makes you think like, damn, that's probably why he had all those kids at his ranch doing the same shit what Jeffrey Epstein was doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But yeah, bye y'all. Trey Gang to be back, y'all. Trey Gang love y'all, man. Y'all be cool and y'all be safe, and I'll be back.